TV or are we good?
Um,
I can
hold
lower
on.
like
Let me.
I'll lower it a little bit more.
No, you good.
I think we're
Yeah, I can't hear nothing.
cool. All right, cool. We in there.
Yeah, I have myself open. Oh, I guess we up. What's up, people?
We in
What's up,
here.
people? We back.
We
We back.
live.
We back.
You know how we do, man. We got to build the ship if we fly, man. But we back. We back in here with the fly
Yeah.
shippers, man. Thank y'all for joining us.
Yeah, man. Oh, snap. Let me change these names. I'm Austin.
And it's your boy Mike.
Yes, it
Uh,
is. That's crazy.
you,
Anybody looking us
you
up?
probably you probably got my government on there. There we go. Now we changed on there, but it's your boy Mike.
Yeah, it's awesome. I ain't going to HR.
You know,
You know,
you know what? We technically rocking two winning teams today.
that's crazy. And I
Two
got
winning
two
teams.
winning drinks. What you sipping on, good sir?
Well, first off, later I will be doing a kickoff of Evan Williams as football Sunday tradition in this household. But we're doing a big boy. Got one of my favorite, most interesting drinks here, Chelada. Basically, if you were to imagine a Bloody Mary, except substitute the vodka for a Mexican beer, put all the other Bloody Mary vibes and ingredients into it. It's what it is. This is what I'm sipping on, man. For those that know what Bloody Marys are, y'all basically get the vibes, except it is a lot less weaker, a lot better for cruising throughout the day or throughout the course of a football game, as we might be covering here in a little bit. But for those that don't know about a Bloody Mary, very savory, chill drink. Uh, not for those that do not like tomato. I'll throw that out there as well. But I don't talk too much about what I'm sipping on, man. What you up there sipping on?
I get my voice allergies, man.
Oh,
Um, yeah, I was at the Whiskey Wine and Fire Festival in Raleigh, or in Cary at the Cocoa Booth Theater or amphitheater. So it's surrounded by trees, grass everywhere.
mhm.
I got terrible allergies and born and raised in North Carolina. So yeah.
That's like the start of like the worst allergies. Like every state in the southeast is like, oh, you got allergies. Ah, hey, let me holler at
Yep. So I was surrounded by trees. So I'm paying for it now. My ears probably gonna be clogged tomorrow, but whatever. Um, but no, I got a French connection, man. I got pure is the pure white Henny with a little bit of Grand Marnier.
you.
So that's what be on today, because hey, turn up, turn up, turn up. But before we get into actual football, I got a fantasy football trade question for you, sir.
Yeah, man. Shoot.
Now, I really don't like trades too much.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you know what? I'm not gonna say that. Much better, much better. Stuff is getting destroyed. Um, yeah, this cup can handle all kind of hot liquids, but when it comes to alcohol, it just gets ate up.
Yeah.
Maybe that's a bad thing. Anyway, so I hate dumb trades because I feel like they're trying to act like I'm stupid, right?
Mm-hmm.
Somebody wanted to trade me Jerome Ford, and that's the PPR league. Jerome Ford for Travis Kelce. And I was like, I'm not get Jerome Ford might not be on the field in 2 more weeks.
True.
You think I'm stupid? You think I'm what? No, yeah, I got Brock Bowers too. You think I'm no? Mm-mm. I got both of them.
Um, since you brought up the Brock Bowers part, Lee Brock Bowers went off the field with an injury, but
Oh,
even
fam,
still,
he turned into a
uh,
crash dummy at one point.
I guess I guess he was doing that based on the fact that so he was trying to give you Travis Kelsey and ask for Jerome Ford.
No, he was
Oh, the
trying to
other way.
get he was trying to give me Jerome Ford and get Kelsey away from me. Am I open to trade Kelsey? Yes. Do I need Jerome Ford? Absolutely. I have
Absolutely
Nick
not.
Chubb sitting there waiting in IR right now, who's going to be playing in about 2, possibly 3 weeks.
Right.
You're
Yeah,
going to
nah.
give me, don't give me trash for my treasure, because you know at any given time, Kelsey can turn that thing right back up, 20 points a game.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Like, you think I'm
Yeah, no.
stupid?
Yeah. So for that trade question, you are correct. That is a decline. Yeah,
I
yeah,
didn't
yeah,
even no, I didn't even decline it. I will let you let it sit there, so we can both look stupid together. We can look at this like, mm, damn. But I still
Did,
like
did Jerome did Jerome Ford even have like a good performance today?
I'm not sure. Let's look at your own for stuff right quick. What's that?
Just to say, in the case that if it did go through.
Oh, what's the thing? I wouldn't have played him.
Well, I'm
I,
just saying, like, if it did go through, I was just saying, let's just look at his performance.
one second. But before I do that, let me show you. Not show. I can tell you my team real quick because so my thing is this. I don't really drop running backs in PPR leagues like that. So if PPR, right? Would you start Jerome Ford over ETN?
No,
Would you start Jerome Ford over Chuba Hubbard?
unfortunately, yes,
Because I would not.
but because of a point that I'm going to bring up later, no. But
Okay.
at the first, as a first answer, yes.
Okay,
But
because me
what I'll
personally,
bring up later, no.
I have Chuba Hubbard above a lot of people just because I've
Agree.
seen him. I'm a Panthers fan, so I actually seen him play, and I've
Mhm.
seen him on these bad teams. I'm like, oh, nah, the offensive line pretty good, but we'll get into that later on. But
Yeah.
let's see, running, uh, 12 carries, 44 yards, 1 touchdown in week one. He also had 6 catches for 25 yards receiving in week one. Week two against Jacksonville Jaguars, 7 carries, 64 yards, 1 reception, no yards. This week,
I'll
10
tackle the
carries,
front.
37 yards, receiving 3 receptions, 33 yards. You ain't Chubb, bruh. Your last name is Ford. I know what that means.
At least they circle the problem, right?
Exactly.
Found on road dead.
Hmm.
Hey, at least it's first on race day though.
It used to be until them Yodas came up. Till them Yodas came up. Yeah.
Not the
Yeah.
Yoda.
Them damn Yodas, man. All right, we're gonna stop talking about NASCAR before we get the wrong audience.
Oh yeah, I know, right?
Because I too watch NASCAR, but I stopped going to the races because a lot of them flags out there. It's something like you go to a spot and it's a little too patriotic. I'm like, let me go ahead and head on out of here real quick. Because when
I know,
somebody
right?
got in office, I was like, ooh, this don't even. Because I've been going to NASCAR race events for so long.
Mm-hmm.
But as soon as old dude got in office, I was like, yeah, nah, this ain't it, yo. That's when I got into the incident at the like my last time I was there.
Oh,
I was like, what are you talking about? I mean, it's like, yeah. Anyway, long story short, my favorite driver is Denny Hamlin. He drives the FedEx car, the FedEx 11. Um, so I was on my hat backwards and I have FedEx, right? So he can see FedEx. And he was like, hey man, I hate FedEx. And I was like, oh, who the hell are you talking to? Whatever. And he tapped me on the shoulder. Hey man, I can't stand FedEx. I was like, oh, okay. He's like, yeah, man, I drive for UPS. I was like, oh, you work at okay, cool. So you're a driver for UPS. I was like, okay, cool, man. Yeah, man, you work at FedEx? I said, nah. I just like Denny Hamlin, and FedEx is the sponsor of the car.
yeah.
No, this is not everybody's like this, but this is the intellect that I was talking to, right?
Mm-hmm.
And like I was like, so he's like, hey man, this is FedEx, man. I can't stand FedEx, man. I got a Denny Hamlin. It's like, we put like all of the numbers in the hat and we pick them out, and that's how we figure out who we're gonna go or who gets the whatever, and the person who wins gets like $100. Yeah,
Yeah.
I got number 11, man. Who's number 11? Now my hat facing him is the back of the hat, right? But
Mm-hmm.
facing him has number 11 and then the words Denny Hamlin. I said, that's Denny Hamlin. He drives the FedEx car. Oh, I guess I like FedEx today. But that's how it started. And I was like, man, you hate this team because you are employed. You are employed by the rival but you don't realize that it's just the sponsor of the car.
Yeah,
So that's why I was like, I don't know. Anyway, man, back to football, man.
that's what it is. Submarine.
Yeah, and then we almost got into it, and I was like, yeah, I'm about to get banned from here. But
I know. Right?
yeah, yeah, what's Sal was what goes on, man? What what's popping
Here's
with
here's the
Steeler in the
here's the question. I guess should we have kind of do coverage of week 2, or are we just gonna stick to coverage of what's happened thus far in week
Oh,
3?
we can do coverage of week 2 real quick. Um, when we go down the list of the games.
Yeah,
All right, hold on a second.
as well as let me get over here
I
because
got you. You good?
I realized I did not actually mark off who won or lost from our picks.
So things like there's a lot of not too much to see here.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah.
Like, okay, so the first game, Bills against Dolphins. Dolphins were getting destroyed the whole game, right?
Mm-hmm.
Tua goes out with another concussion that didn't look like a concussion, and he got tackled. But it's like, yo, like I just dropped him. I could put him on IR my spot, but he won't be back to at least week 8.
Yeah,
That's what half the fantasy season. Yeah, that
basically,
roster
yeah.
spot.
That's more than half of a fantasy season.
Yeah. Yep. And then you got was it? Wait, I think James Cook had like 3 touchdowns. But the Raiders against the Ravens. That game was surprisingly close,
Mm-hmm.
and I didn't think the Ravens were going to lose that game. But we'll talk about week 3 because now it's making a lot more sense.
Yeah,
Um, Chargers against the Panthers. Nothing really to
that was
see
a
here.
nothing burger.
Yeah,
That was
I was at that game, and it was funny because we've been saying this for like a year.
Mhm.
Bryce doesn't have any physical traits that you can improve, right?
At all.
And he was missing wide open people, and it was crazy because so my sister was she was at the game with me. She said, "Yo, I know he didn't just jump to throw that ball." I was like, "Yes, he did."
Yes, he did. He had to.
And the thing is, like, he doesn't get a chance to set his feet because
Hmm.
he can't set his feet, and it kind of reminds me of like what they said about Bryce Young is like, man, he's so accurate and this and that, right? I'm wondering if he was thrown to a spot. You know what I mean? Like when he was
Yeah,
in college, like he was thrown to a spot in college.
yeah.
And the Alabama, I mean, even if they don't have NFL talent, Alabama players are good enough to beat 95% of the entire college football. Like one of them is
Mhm.
easy. So yeah, Bryson looked terrible, and I've never seen nice players get mad. Adam Thielen almost got into it with Bryce. Deontay Johnson almost got into it with Bryce. And
Yeah.
Taylor Moton almost got into it with Bryce. 3 quiet guys.
Hmm.
Deontay Johnson used to play in Pittsburgh with those quarterbacks. You know what I'm saying? So, and it's wild, man, because we'll touch on this a little later on too. But they said that like a lot of the national media are starting to be behind Bryce a little bit. And
Hmm.
I'm sitting here like the way you're talking, I know you don't watch the games because you keep saying the Panthers have like the worst offensive line. They have no wide receivers. Yeah, we don't have no elite wide receivers, but we got people who are actually open this year.
Yep.
And then when it comes to like stuff as far as the protection and pass blocking, we were number 3 after 2 weeks. We were number 5 offensive line overall for PFF grades, number 5 in the league for week 2.
Mhm.
Bryce is throwing picks to open receivers in a clean pocket.
But and throwing picks to basically defenders that are just getting into an area where there was no Panthers
Yes,
receiver.
they were just like, oh, why is this ball coming to me? So, and then like, we kind of mentioned it in week 1 where we don't know how bad or we don't know how bad or how good the team is, right? Because everybody's like,
Mhm.
well, what about the defense? Well, people who don't really know how complementary football works. Let's look back at week one, right? Um, blown coverage, Saints get a wide open touchdown, right? First
Mhm.
play of the game for the Panthers, Bryce was a pick. Your defense, who just played a full series, is now back on the field with no rest.
Yeah.
Boom. All right, have another long series, whatever. All right. Bryce goes out there 3-and-out. That defense is back on the field again, minimal
With
rest.
hardly any rest
Yeah.
after he
Oh,
just basically had no rest.
right. So it's like, oh man, Panthers can stop the run. Yeah, historically we really can't, but we don't know if the players are just tired or whatever, right?
Mhm.
So we'll touch on that later on. You have anything else for that game?
Not specifically for that game.
Okay. Cowboys 19, Saints 44. To me, that looked like the Saints treated the Cowboys like the Panthers.
It also doesn't help that Saints defense was literally frustrating the Cowboys to a point to where they couldn't literally get anything started. And then after a while, they started scoring on defense and such. That was
Mhm.
uh that was a punch in the mouth, in which that is a note I can also touch on a little bit later as well. That was a punch in the mouth to Cowboys fans and a very big asterisk to their season. I agree.
Next
Uh,
game, we got the Buccaneers against the Lions. I think that was a pretty solid game. 20-16.
mhm.
There's nothing really to see, but it was a solid game. Next one, Colts against the Packers. Didn't expect that. Malik Willis looked like a quarterback, which makes me think, how good is Matt LaFleur's system? Because we thought Malik Willis was gonna be out the league soon.
True.
Or how bad is Tennessee's system?
I would say how bad Tennessee system. I would question that one.
Let's see, Browns
But
and
yeah, let's get to
Jaguars.
today's game.
You know.
They said
Oh
Browns.
man. Oh.
Oh, actually, one I wanted to touch on, which will also feed into some of the notes I'm going to touch on in a moment as well. Um, Cardinals and Rams. Rams basically ended up being without weapons,
Bam.
like without anything.
I've never seen that so far because they started off the season with no Higby, and then
Mhm.
now no Puka, and now no Cup.
Right, right. Like that's basically the only reason why that score got as bad as it did.
Yeah, I
Um,
don't.
Rams fans, y'all keep y'all's head up because I'll touch on that in a moment as well. But as far as versus y'all versus the Cardinals, it was a broken pencil.
No way. Okay, we'll talk about that later on. Um,
And then
wow.
the other one I wanted to touch on, as y'all see, I'm wearing Broncos stuff. The Denver versus Pittsburgh game from week two. Uh, Decently close overall from both teams, and then we got, of course, the late game pick from Bo Nix that basically kind of sealed our fate.
Yeah, to me, it's just rookie stuff.
Yeah,
Oh, do you see the Bengals and the Chiefs game?
I did not, but I do know the Chiefs had a late game turnover that helped them come back and win. But I did not see the actual inter
Yeah, I
parts
mean,
of the game.
there were some favorable calls that could have gone either way, but you know,
Okay.
it doesn't matter what calls the Chiefs get. Everybody's gonna be like, "Man, the Chiefs get this." Okay. Jamar Chase also yelled at the referee had me pulled back. So
Yeah.
yeah, how about you guys just run the ball? But anyway, um, we gave up Mixon. Eagles and Falcons. I don't know how the Falcons won that game.
Easy. if Saquon catches the ball, the game's over. That's how
Ooh,
the Falcons.
actually, nope. I'm gonna stop you right there. So remember when they were trying to draw the guy off sides?
Yeah,
The defense came over the line. The offensive lineman didn't move. If he would just flinch, because Goddard was doing, he was in motion and pointed and was like, oh, that's when Nick Sirianni was so mad. Then they threw the ball to Saquon. So yeah, one, if Saquon should have just caught the ball, but also two, the offensive lineman, they were trying to get him to jump and they got him to jump, but he didn't react to it.
yeah.
And I was like,
Well,
either
my
way,
devil's my devil's advocate point on top of your point is if they run the ball and even if they get stopped
40 seconds,
for running the ball and then you kick a field goal, yes, they run more time off the clock and the Falcons have less clock to work with to get down the
40
field.
seconds
The
less.
clock, the Falcons drive to take the lead took 45 seconds. So if you run the ball in that situation, and even if you don't get the first down, you have to settle for a field goal. The Falcons don't have that 45 seconds to complete that drive.
Mm-hmm. Because they flew down the field.
And it left 29 seconds on the clock, true. But like I said,
But
you
still,
run the
yeah,
ball,
it's
if you run the clock down, the Falcons have to try to do that 45-second drive in
mm-hmm,
29. It ain't happening.
mm-hmm. And unless they Patrick Mahomes.
Versus the Bills.
Yep, they ain't Patrick Mahomes, yo. My man said, Travis, do it, do it. And everybody's like, what are you talking about? 'Cause
Let me show you how to do
he
it.
said, Travis, do it, do it. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, that's it for really week three. I mean, week
That was
two.
week 2.
Shall we go to week three, sir?
And where do we even start with? Where do we even start with week 3?
Yo, two out there with shades on, not because he's one of the cool, but it's because of that sunlight. Fam, go home.
That's what I was gonna say. I was like, do
Go
we go ahead?
home, dog. Like
Do we
I've
go ahead and start with the injuries?
like yeah,
The injuries, I guess, before this week started.
we can, man. But yo, real talk. I've had two mild concussions from soccer as an adult. They told me, limit your sunlight and don't work for a day or two
Yeah,
because I work in IT, so I have to use my brain. They said chill out,
yeah.
limit light. My man is like, nah. My man was throwing up gang signs again.
Again, isn't this
Yo,
his like fourth one?
third document, third, third where he was like, okay, yeah, he ain't got it. So yeah.
Woo, the pain. What was the backup name? Tyler Thompson, I think, is the backup.
Skylar Thompson, I think.
Skylar Thompson. Say,
I
I was
think
going
he
to say.
got hurt too. Gosh, nah, hold up. I just saw the hit. Dang.
I'm gonna notate that. It says
Nah, he
Skylar.
may have a concussion.
Who did the Dolphins have? They got to get. They got to take somebody off the practice squad to fill the
No, they
spot.
can have Bryce Young. Oh, nah, his chest hurt.
Oh, I'm notating that.
Yeah.
Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Let me go back. Did not notate who we picked? I notated it somewhere. Who we? Oh, it's probably in the other notepad. Um, because I am pretty sure I picked the Dolphins to win that division. How much of a change is that for the AFC East?
Um, Nothing.
Sure.
Yeah, so like to me, I didn't have them winning the division just because it's gonna get cold soon, and it's not gonna matter who the hell's the quarterback.
I guess the reason I picked them is because Mister Give It Up.
Bam, he can't give it up if you keep on handing it off.
True, because James Cook do be cooking.
Just let him cook.
Um, but back on the week 3, as far as injuries, since you brought up Bryce Young, gonna go ahead and jump over to this 4 o'clock game real quick.
Oh, you sure you want to go down the thing?
Well, my notes wise, I had the Bryce Young benching.
Oh man, look,
I had some notes down, but I mean
fam.
we can go down the list of games in order if you want.
Or wait, you want to talk about the benching first since it happened like in the middle of the week?
Yeah, because I was about to say
Okay,
I had that as my notes
gotcha,
here.
gotcha, gotcha.
Yeah.
Y-
Um,
Yeah, how you feel about that?
I am glad it is a step in the right direction. Um, as well as it looked like it motivated the team today. I mean, and as we go through the games, we can actually touch on their actual performance. Once we get to the 4 o'clock games, I feel like it motivated the team and literally just seeing the change, like the let alone seeing Bryce's imperfections before when he was the starter, just seeing the change of that, like seeing an open and drive touchdown, a confident open and drive touchdown from the Carolina Panthers on the road versus an AFC West defense. Uh, like everyone just looked like they were playing very, very motivated. I believe the Panthers had what 3 or 4 sacks today. I think 4.
Uh,
Um,
you did 3 or 4.
um,
And I know
I know,
Clowney got the third one.
yeah. So like it is wild to see how much of that change was there. Um, so yeah, it looked like all around just good news uh, for the Panthers. And as far as overall for the division and talent wise in the division, it actually I think kind of makes them a competitor in my opinion, at least in that division. Now, playoffs wise, we know playoffs is a different story, and if they were to make the playoffs, but I do like I do like the change, and at least it's early enough in the season where it's just like Panthers can make moves off this. Was it you as a
hmm
fan of the team? What's your opinion?
Look, man. Bryce's benching, because we kind of said it before, it's set off. It's set off something inside of people, right? I feel
Mm-hmm.
like a lot of people, it's like the first time that they're have to come to terms of you were
Yeah.
wrong about Bryce. You were always wrong about Bryce. You wanted to see things that were not there, right? This is not basketball. This is not soccer. This is not baseball. Your
Yeah.
physical traits matter in the NFL. But he didn't do the stuff in college. When people say that, I'm like, are you disregarding what the SEC has on the team? More
Mm-hmm.
specifically, a Saban-led Alabama. Look at the people in the league. They either did well against Saban or they played for Saban.
Yep.
So what are we talking about right now? You know what I mean?
Uh,
It's so weird,
another
yo.
another decent example since we're talking about Alabama. Another decent example I used. Uh, didn't Eddie Lacy and what was the quarterback's name? McCarron. Didn't Eddie Lacy and McCarron play together?
I believe so.
One got in,
Who was
one
Derrick
got in
Henry's
the league.
quarterback?
The other got in the league and currently is in XFL. Is
Who was Derrick Henry's quarterback at Alabama?
that Matt Jones?
It might have been. Or no, I think Derek was in the league. Maybe I don't know.
Might have been Mike. It might have been Mac Jones for like a year, and then whoever it was before Mac.
Hmm.
Who was before Mac? Tua or
Yep,
Jalen?
Jalen Hurts to Mac Jones.
There we go. Which, by the way, the best of the past four by far is Jalen, who is now concussed. Mac is benched.
Hmm.
Bryce is benched.
Yep.
McCarron,
And the thing
Edwards,
is, like Jalen, no, not Jalen. Like Hurts is a little weird though, right? Just
true.
because of this. Do you consider him an Alabama quarterback? Because
Not fully.
that's what I'm thinking. It's like, oh,
Same with
like
Bo
he
Nix.
did play for them, but he left. You know what I mean?
Oklahoma, right?
Yeah, like like he left and he had to go get it. So, you know what I mean?
Same
It's
with Bo
like,
Nix with Auburn. And he
yeah,
ended up
Bo Nix
being
played, yeah, Auburn, um, who else? Oregon.
yeah. So that's a fair point too. Oh man, Ludacris is at the game. Which
Luda.
by the way, tonight, the Sunday night football game tonight, is Kansas City Chiefs versus Atlanta Falcons. So got Ludacris out here talking to Tony Dungy and Rodney Harrison. With unsung hero Tony Dungy, you want to talk about team building
Mm,
and team
mm-hmm,
chemistry building.
mm-hmm,
Let's not
mm-hmm.
forget Tony Dungy built
Talk to
the
him.
Super Bowl winning team for Tampa before he left to start to coach in the Indianapolis Colts. It just so happened to fall into John Gruden's hands after he already knew the playbook for the Raiders. But that's way in the past. Um, let's see the other injury slash.
Oh yeah, because when we get to the Panther game, we're gonna dive into this joint.
Um, well, the Justin Jefferson injury ended up not being serious because he had
Oh yeah,
played.
yeah, yeah. He said it was a little weird. Bam. Okay, yo, Justin Jefferson, right? Wait, are we going in that game or just injury report?
I was just going to do the injury real quick, then we can
Okay.
go down to the list of games because I only got one more after this one.
Who else got hurt? Mixon, Mixon for the Texans.
That one is actually one I didn't hear of and put on this list before I
I
saw it.
I think that had a bigger impact than we think.
It did.
I think that had a much bigger impact.
It did, and I will definitely touch on that once we get to the games.
Hmm.
Um, the only last one that I had was the mix of the Puka Nakua and Cooper Cup. However,
Mm.
Rams ended up pulling some stuff out today. And
I don't know how.
apologies if y'all played the 49ers defense like I did. I'm going to lose today in fantasy. Should have played the Jets defense. I should have known better. uh, one of those. All right, time to flip the page over. All right, let's get to this notes, man. We already touched on the Thursday game. So for today's games, of
Mm.
course, it pulled up Broncos.
I got it. Thursday night game, Patriots against the Jets. That was like wow.
Oh, we had touched on last Thursday's game. Yeah. Yeah, the Patriots, and so you would have thought division wise that would have been way, way, way more competitive, way more competitive. Um, this definitely lets you know the Jets still to this day have a top five defense, and I will still argue to this day it's top three.
They were missing a
Um,
quarterback. Not a great one, just a quarterback. Keep that in mind,
quarterback.
people.
Um, I The Patriots could do nothing, and it's not like Jacoby Brissett's bad. Yeah, I mean he's definitely talented enough, obviously, to get a starting job, and he's talented enough to still be in the league. Veteran, so I mean, it it was definitely nothing of him, but he looked powerless against that defense. So 24-3. Apologies if y'all live in the New England area. For Jets fans, I'm sorry I disappointed you by not starting your defense in my fantasy. That's about all
Mm.
to be said about that. Although Ramondre Stevenson did what he could, wasn't much help because he generally comes out the backfield, but he did what he could. The 1 o'clock games today. I guess was the first one. Oh, technically, my boys was one of the 1 o'clock games.
Yeah, I have them all in order of time too. Which is
So,
wild though. Shout out to NFL because they actually split it with an ad. They, they split
so
it with
we
a
gonna get
Marriott
this.
ad, but they don't tell you 1 o'clock, 4 o'clock. All right, Giants against the Browns, man.
Good surprising win for the
Bam.
Giants.
Question. Before we go into that game, do you think this was like the official week one of the NFL? As
No,
like the last two games were preseason?
no. Well, for some teams, yes, but for most of the league, no. And for the some teams, I'm saying no. Well, the some teams I'm saying yes for. Y'all didn't play y'all starters in preseason, and then you paid for it. You paid for it heavily. All your timing was off. It looked sloppy. Your energy was depleted.
Hmm.
All right. You looked like you needed to get back in the weight room. It looked bad. Um, so I can agree with you on that point for some teams, but for other teams, especially the Minnesota Vikings, they've legit been going ham since week one. The Vikings are undefeated. So um, for Giants Browns, uh, which actually since you brought that up, let me actually click on that and look at a couple stat lines because
Hmm.
I'm intrigued on how the Browns got down so quickly and so early.
I can tell you
Okay.
the Browns. That's how.
Silly. You're
We
silly.
don't know if they're good or not, yo.
They're good defensively, but
Yeah. I mean, offense wise, we don't know what's going on with them
I'm,
folks.
I'm look. There we go. I'm looking at the stat line. It's like it's an okayish stat line to where there should have been more points scored than 15, and there should not have been a point where you were down 21-7 to the let alone down 21-7, down 21-7 to the New York Football Giants. The other reason why they're called the Football Giants, but I'll touch on that in the future. Um, you should not have been down 21-7 to the New York Football Giants. So great win for the Giants. Brian Dayball, man. Uh, Brian Dayball seems like he can motivate any team, really. So this is more of a motivating win for the Giants. Would I say don't discount
I
the
think Danny
Giants?
Dimes
Not
had
quite
two
yet.
touchdowns, right?
Hmm?
Did
Is that
Danny
again?
Dimes have two touchdowns?
Uh,
I believe.
two passing touchdowns. Yep.
And Neighbors, yeah, yo, Neighbors is you know what? Are we finding a trend here? Since it's going to like a passing league, right?
Yeah.
Um, find your like find your elite wide receiver get you hey, I don't know if you're good or not quarterback. And then
Right.
hey, who else? What other veterans want to come? Come on in. This is what you got. And he's proven. Think about it. Look at like the impact that another you know what? I'll say that for another game.
'Cause I was about
Because
to sound like you
yeah.
said the same thing for Marvin Harrison Jr.
Ding 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 ding. That's what I was gonna say. That's what I
Yeah,
was because
we're
he
gonna
came
touch
in the
on that in a
game.
second.
I said,
Yeah, yeah.
oh, oh, this is his third game. Bam. Yeah. He's top five right now already. He's making
We're
double
gonna get
teams
on
look
that.
stupid, but okay. Next game,
What's
man.
the one off the? What's the one after Browns Giants?
Bears and Colts. I don't know.
Um, I don't. I don't know is the Bears side.
Yes. Because Caleb had 2 picks and 2 touchdowns. I didn't get to watch it.
Because talent wise, there's nothing wrong with that roster. And then performance wise, you look and the Bears score less than 24, and it's like,
Um,
eesh. But you did all this work in preseason. They scored 30 plus in every preseason game. I know that's preseason, but 30 is already impressive in the NFL. 30 plus in every preseason game is
yeah, yeah.
that's some notation. So it's
Hmm.
like we saw y'all look like this. Where and where's it at now? It's like, is it that much of a discrepancy in the talent between the starters and the who was trying to make the team? So
They
yes, I agree with you. I don't know for the Bears offense.
and the thing is, like, I also want to see how it's going to be with Keenan Allen in the offense because I see him kind of trying to coach Caleb up on a little bit. It's kind of
Yeah.
like how Greg Olson was with Cam Newton, where Cam's biggest asset was Greg, but not so much for the catching, more so how he was kind of helping out everybody else that's not on the
Mhm.
line. So I'm wondering if the offense will be, or if Caleb Williams will be a little bit calmer. Also, I think Caleb Williams has to understand this ain't college. Everybody fast. That little spin back thing ain't gonna work, fam. Ain't
That's
gonna
fair.
everybody run a four, yo. I don't care how big you are, how tall or how wide or small.
Yeah, because isn't like the
Everybody
average
fast.
speed. Isn't like the average speed of the 40-yard dash like 4.6 seconds, and that's
It's stupid.
including like offensive linemen and
It's
people that are
getting out
not.
of hand. Yes. You see that dude in preseason, the dude from the Giants, the defensive lineman who sprint and caught the running back? Nah, fam. Nope. Nope. Nah, man.
Four,
Nah.
4.6 is probably a bit high. It's probably closer to like 4.8, which is still
It's still
ridiculous
ridiculous.
because you got to count in. They also count sprint times for positions that are not meant to run. Like
Hmm.
offensive linemen can still probably get like a 5.4.
Man, I run a 40-yard dash in 10-second flat.
Yes,
Well,
they for reference. They
I haven't run 40. But yeah.
uh so yeah, I agree with that. I think he has to understand this level of the game is faster now. He's got to get
Hmm.
over the shock value. Um, who was after that?
After that, we got the Texans and the Vikings.
The
I'm not sure about
shock
that one, yo.
game of the week.
Because I
I
was thinking like,
apologize.
do they really miss Mixon that bad? Or was Stroud out here just doing random stuff? Because Diggs had a good game. Nico had a good game, but they couldn't put it together.
Yeah, that on top of, I think people are discounting how well the Minnesota Vikings are actually playing good team football on both sides of the ball. I guess it's nobody cares about Sam Darnold really. It's like Sam Darnold is showing that Sam Darnold was not the problem when he was on the New York Jets. He was already showing that when he was on the Carolina Panthers, and he's showing it again. Um,
Hmm.
the Vikings are playing very, very good team football. I still think they finished last in the NFC North, but I still think that makes the NFC North probably one of the toughest divisions in the league. I'll quote that as it may. Um, but yeah, the shock value game for the Texan side of it, especially those up lining up for the kickoff here. Um, for a team that I predicted would probably win 14 games this season, and let alone won their division last year and won a playoff game, this is a good shock value and wake up call game.
Hmm. Another thing though, on the opposite side of the ball, hey fam, how good is Justin Jefferson? Because I know how good Sam Darnold is.
How good is Justin Jefferson? Kickoff just happened.
Oh,
Um, hmm,
oh shit. Ain't no
easily
way.
easily top five. Easily top five of what's active in the league right now.
It was Mooney. Yeah, I think yeah. Back to it. Yeah, Donald had what 4 touchdowns.
Mhm.
Here's the thing though. Would you pick up Sam Donald or Sam Darnold on a fantasy?
Uh, Originally, no. Considering how they've looked in the past 3 weeks, yes.
Okay, I think his name. I'm still waiting for him to turn back into a pumpkin because Derek Carr turned back into a pumpkin, but we'll talk about it later.
We're gonna touch on that later. You right.
Yeah. Let's go to the next game. We got the Eagles against the Saints. That game was
And
weird.
so for those that don't really tune into games that often, let me tell you something.
Talk to him.
This was a barn burner until it wasn't. As I believe the score was what 3-0 or 6-0 until like 5 minutes left, and then the score just exploded within like the last 5 minutes of the game.
Hmm.
What was his name? Yeah, it was three. It was 3-0 with like 7 minutes left, and then Saquon Barkley scored a very long running
Man, it
touchdown.
was like a 75 yard or something.
Yeah, and then the Saints hit another field goal, and so it was 7-6 with 5 minutes to go. That's and then all of a sudden the score just exploded and the lead changed like three extra times. But there was only 5 minutes left to go in the game, and it was 7-6. It was like what happened here? Both defenses were eating until they weren't. Um, Also, RIP if you did play against Saquon Barkley because that 70 that 70-yard touchdown plus later in the game he got a 2-point conversion. Just those plays alone is 15 points. Plus what he did prior to those. So if you were playing against Saquon Barkley today and you checked
Mm-mm.
fantasy before there was 5 minutes left to go in the game, and you saw Saquon only had a handful of points, RIP. I'm sorry.
Damn, he is dragging my team to the finish line this week because I had Ramondre Stevenson and Hunter Henry because I needed tight end help. Yeah, I took a flyer on him. And Ramondre Stevenson, I think combined had 3 points between those two in PPR. But I had Saquon. Yeah, my man got me 33. He was,
and,
yep.
and again, remind you, folks, as he said, Saquon had 33. That would mean before those big impact plays within like the last 5-6 minutes of the Eagles Saints game, Saquon probably only had like 8 or 10. I would throw my phone if I saw that. Um,
I know I had Alvin Kamara. Like you know what? Alvin Kamara did well. He did well.
mhm.
It's just that we're expecting 3 touchdowns. He had more than 15 points. So
Fair.
yeah,
Uh, but let's say what you got, or what's the next one after
let me
Eagles?
tell you something, brother. The ain't nothing to see here. Chargers against the Steelers. Yeah, the
Another
Steelers are 3-0. Wait a
yeah,
minute. Hold,
that was another weird one. The Chargers
damn.
actually led most of that game, and then
But
all of a sudden,
Herbert, Herbert got hurt. He
and
played till the fourth
Steelers
quarter,
are
but
also a
still.
weird team that's playing some pretty good team football too. Um,
Wow. Drake London got a touchdown.
so it's one of those you you would go into a game like that, like kind of underestimating, especially considering that Justin Fields is the starting quarterback, and then all of a sudden they're playing good team football
Hmm.
and they take the lead from you, and then they run the clock and then extend the lead. Like so I believe at halftime the Chargers were up 10-7. So um but yeah, like you said, Justin Herbert gonna
Huh. Let's see. Okay.
honestly
Do you think okay, so Tomlin needs 6 more wins to continue his streak? I think he'll get that. Another thing too, Justin,
fair.
they ain't losing, but Russell Wilson may not get his I don't think he'll get his job back.
If not, would they if not, would they facilitate a trade?
Who would Miami?
That's what I'm about to say. Because I can tell with that hard pause, you already know there's a couple landing spots that could get them.
I can only
Because
think
I
of
was just
one.
saying, huh?
I can only think of one.
Who? The
Miami. That's it.
Giants.
Who?
The Giants.
Nah, nah, they ain't stupid. Mm-mm. They're gonna ride this Daniel Jones thing until they get the number 1 pick.
Okay. Until Danny Dimes turns into Danny Pennies,
Yeah,
and then
yeah,
they're
yeah.
gonna double think about it.
They no, no, they need to have Danny Dimes in there so they can organically tank. That's why you need him to keep playing. The thing is, here's the thing. The Panthers could have done that with Bryce Young, except for people like, all right now,
They
okay,
can
this is
already
come on, man.
they can already organically tank. You play Tommy DeVito.
Nah, can't do that because people like him. People do not like Daniel Jones.
Hey,
Hmm.
I'm saying well, since you brought up that point, you might as well play somebody that people like and just be like, all right, we're making a change and then we're just trying to move the team in a different direction. We'll start building.
Can't do that either because then the GM is gonna get fired. Because why'd you give him all that money if you're not gonna play him? You let him be the little tomato can, and then you're good to go.
You already got the tomato can when he got tackled by the 40-yard line.
Nah,
Now,
nah, we need the whole season. My man about to be back in
um,
Charlotte talking about some wait, answering emails with me.
he said answer. But yes,
Hmm.
if they were to facilitate a trade for Russ and the Steelers are not expecting to give Russ his starting job back, yes, I agree with you. Miami could be an easy landing spot. Um, what was the next game for
Next
for
game we got 4 o'clock joints. Well, no, my bad. I think it's the last 1 o'clock one. No, actually, no, never mind. We got 2 more. Broncos and then the Buccaneers. I'll let you speak on that one, good sir.
Oh man, I was waiting for you to call this card right
Hmm.
here. Man, I was going to say Bryce. Wrong B name. I really felt bad for Baker today. My team, my team had 8 sacks today. Telling you, and I'll probably continue to mention this throughout the season. I'm telling you, our front seven, we coming. All right, we coming for you. You better have a good scheme dialed up because we coming for you. Your backfield is going to be in turmoil. Um, and there were even a couple plays where Baker recognized the blitz was coming and at least tried to do a check down, and the check down still got a TFL. So we coming for you. Our defensive backfield sometimes got beat, but there were some plays that actually happened today where I was proud. Mike Evans actually caught a wide open pass, went to make a turn, and I'm telling you, two players basically swallowed them up. One of them came through with the patented peanut punch. That's
Shout out to
basically what
Pat Tillman, man.
hey man. So like that our defense is coming. Now, offense, this is probably the best game that we played overall. So I'll point that out as well. Bo Nix definitely looked like very much more poised than other games. And decision making, you can see he's starting to catch on with certain things. Um, just overall good game, and the defense basically just shut down. The defense shut down Tampa so bad that in the first quarter, at the end of the first quarter, the Buccaneers only had 23 yards, 13 passing, 10 rushing.
How many?
23 total. Yeah, defense was eating like that. Let me get over here. Let me see what player that was that came and get that peanut punch. 1 second. 1 second. There we go. Riley Moss. Yeah. Like I said, Mike Evans caught a pass wide open, goes to make a turn, gets his legs swallowed up. Riley Moss comes through the peanut punch. That was pretty much game over because the Buccaneers basically needed to score that to try to get some momentum on their side. We were basically already up, I believe, 18 at that point. So having that turnover at that point, and there was only like 4 minutes left, I was like, yeah, that pretty much seals the game. You can run the clock here. So yeah, great game by our front seven, and great to see that Bo Nix is catching up. That's my last two notes about that game. Else I'm gonna keep speaking on it like a proud dad.
We're gonna have another one of those moments in a little bit.
There we go.
Packers against the Titans. Was that Malik Willis' revenge game?
I believe so. And man, let me tell you, the Titans looked helpless.
Hmm.
That's all I'm gonna say.
Yo, Vrabel's like, I told you. I told you.
The Titans looked helpless. There was so as a quick speak on how I watch football games here in this house. I generally have multiple screens up. And I started off with that game on my Nintendo Switch. The Nintendo Switch finished the 1 o'clock games on a different game because that's how helpless the Titans look. Mr. Mayonnaise and his coffee drinking Will Levis looked like he could do nothing against the Packers defense. On the flip side, Malik Willis and wow, is he like a wide receiver? It was something Reed for the Packers.
Jalen Reed.
Jalen Reed, there we go. Jalen Reed and Malik Willis were running all over the Titans defense. There was a play that should have been a TFL for 7 yards, and Jalen Reed turned it into a gain of 23.
Talk to him.
Malik Willis should have been sacked for a loss of 4. He turned it into a gain of 11 for a first down. Yeah, fam, what are we doing? No, like they literally made the Titans look just kind of pointless out there. Titans did get some scoring plays, but the Packers were up by so much it basically didn't matter. What was this play? Another reason you never count out Patrick Mahomes in fantasy. You never know when Patrick Mahomes is going to start scrambling.
Yeah, like it's like, yo, what's the best way to say it without being like kind of weird? So I've seen him play when they played the Chargers live, right?
Hmm.
That was the weirdest thing. Like he was scrambling, looked like he was just running like a little kid. And then he kind of threw it sidearm between two people for somebody in the end zone. Oh,
So what kind of backyard football is this?
yeah.
In fact, speaking of that, could you imagine if he was a player around when the video game backyard football was out? Like, how would you beat him?
NFL Street? No, you gotta put in the cheat code. Get somebody from the block to throw something out there.
Yeah, I'm about to say you got to put in a cheat code to beat somebody that is a cheat code.
There we go. Well, I just had it. I might go ahead and buy this ticket right now. It's 150 for the club level for the Bengals and Panthers because I
Hey,
got some friends coming to town that's gonna be in the club area for the Bengals game. I be like, hey guys. But
oh, I don't think he got that.
hold on.
Um, before we get to the 4 o'clock game, yeah, I'm about to say I don't think he got that. Before we get to the 4 o'clock games, how you feel about Carson Steele for the Chiefs?
I like him. I like him. I saw his in please not please in preseason. Like he wasn't bad. He's just a bigger. He's he kind of reminds me of a fallback.
Yeah, well, I mean,
And
he played fullback.
oh well, there we go.
Um, there's basically just plays where they just design and line up to where it's just like you don't know who's where. So it kind of
Hmm.
looks like Carson Steele is playing like a halfback or running back position, but he's technically listed as the fullback.
I'm also wondering how it's going to be with Kareem Hunt there
Mhm.
because they still have P Ryan on the team as well. But with Hunt, can he still do it?
Which you're welcome, Chiefs fan. P. Ryan was on the Broncos before he got to go. Um, that's an interesting question. I mean, it's also a good enough back room to be very successful in mixing up defenses. Uh, but yeah, so you need let's get to these 4 o'clock games. This is gonna be your proud dad moment.
Let's go. So let's start with the Panthers and the Raiders, y'all. Going back on it with Bryce Young, right? Bryce Young was bench, right?
Mm-hmm.
Uh, it was weird because I mean, no, it wasn't weird because if you go back to last season, we were thinking, oh, when Bryce Young was benched before, conspiracy theory, he hurt his knee somehow and nobody saw the injury. And it said it
Yeah,
happened during the game, but everybody looked at everything from the game. We didn't see anything from it. Whatever. Bryce Young was benched. Andy Dalton came out, almost won the game.
yeah,
Bryce Young is healthy again. Last year, people were like, okay, offensive line is terrible. I can't say that they weren't. I mean, wide receivers are terrible. Mm, it's hard for me to say that they're terrible
mm,
because Adam Thielen was balling. I can say that people weren't getting open. This year, no, no, nope. First 2 weeks, Panthers were number three. Week two, Panthers were number five for offensive line.
mm,
Wide receivers are open, and I hate that the national media keeps talking about the Panthers as if it was last year. Who's he gonna throw to? Yo, didn't y'all say that Bryce Young can throw people open? Didn't y'all say Bryce Young is a point guard? He can work with the mediocre people.
mm-hmm.
I mean, offensive line doesn't have any help. Nah, he got time.
Yep.
Bryce Young was he need look, I don't know if it's gonna be like the quarterback for the future or whatever, but yeah, Bryce Young was throwing flat out picks to what I was almost picked off. He was throwing flat out picks to no my bad. He was he was throwing interceptions from a clean pocket.
Yeah.
Flat out interceptions from a clean pocket. You can't have that, right? Then everybody was thinking like, dang, how come he was like why is it so why is it so soon? Tepper got rid of Frank Wright after 11 games, which means before week 3, Canales has played 18% of those games already.
Mhm.
If you got into a job and someone's like, hey man, the last dude was gone in 11 games. Oh, we already played 2. I gotta make something shake now, yo, because I don't know what this dude's gonna do. I may be
Yeah.
going to 9 games, right? So, like I said before, like like the Panthers, the main thing for this joint was to see if the offense worked, right? Offense worked fantastic. Defense worked fantastic. The defense looked really refreshed when you're not having the ball getting turned over after two or three times.
Mm-hmm.
The defense looked great when you're not throwing the ball into coverage and getting it picked off right after they got off the field. Right?
Right.
Not many 3-and-outs. Kept the drive going. Run game was good. Everything. Everything was going well.
Mm-hmm.
Everything. And to think about like we're doing this with no like no elite quarterback, no elite wide receivers.
Mm-hmm.
We don't have a elite running back. We got rid of everything that we thought was elite on defense to help out Bryce Young. Damn, we would the score was what, 36 to 15? No, 36 to 22. That
Yeah.
game
Plus
was
they got
not
the
that
20.
close. That
Yeah.
game was that the score was 27 to 7 at one point.
Yeah.
And without going too deep into it, if the coach would have challenged the joint, whatever, it would have been 27 to 3. But whatever. But yeah, man, I'm happy that the Panthers got the win. But it does say something when the football people want football people, and somebody who's not a football person says, "I like this guy because he makes me feel better about myself."
Mm.
And you see what happens, right?
Want to talk
Like I
to him?
said before, put the fries in the bag, Bryce.
Talk
So,
to him.
nah, fam. So yeah, you got anything to say about that game?
As I was touching on before, just overall, the players just looked inspired to play. You know what I'm saying? Like the the skill position players were not moving in the same way that they were moving last week or 2 weeks ago. They
Uh-uh.
actually looked inspired to play,
Like,
and
can
that
you
was
imagine being on the team where it's like, so my bad. So back to the inspired to play. There's reports coming out that the players knew who should be the starter back in the spring. Can you
right.
imagine getting signed to a team? It was like, yeah, everybody, y'all told us he's the guy. All right, man.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah,
Like literally, just a quick eye test of, like I said, let alone y'all scored a touchdown in the opening drive. Y'all confidently scored a touchdown in the opening drive. Got a good confident stop and then scored a touchdown, I believe, 2 drives later. Because I think y'all went 3-and-out and then y'all scored a touchdown in your third drive. It was one of
yeah.
those, this looks like a competent team now.
And like it was 3-and-out, not because of we were getting stopped. It was like, missed pass. Okay, maybe that
Yeah.
didn't work the way that one. Oh, um, jeez.
So
Well,
those are the things that I would touch on for the Panthers and the Raiders.
Uh-huh.
Uh, the only other note I would say is that, like you said, at one point the score was 20 something to a single digit. That's interception. Um, Apologies if you all are playing Patrick Mahomes. We just threw an interception in the end zone.
Yeah.
But score wise, it was at one point kind of close enough to where I've actually seen a game get cut off of live TV. So I'll put that out there like that. Coming from a team that we didn't even know looked competent and did not score for 9 straight quarters. All you did was change quarterbacks, and then it looked like this today.
Night and day.
Yeah.
Because I would tell you this, being in a lot of Panthers chats and talking to people, whatever, the bar was so low, we just want to make sure that, hey, is it Bryce, which we thought it was, or is stuff just not work, or is the whole system messed up?
Yeah.
And it looked like the system worked. So now he can probably go to Tepper and be like, or the coach can now can go to Tepper like, hey man, this works, fam. If you let me do what I do, we good.
Mm-hmm.
Also, what you want me to do with him? Because I got Andy out here cooking.
Right.
Andy was in the same draft class as Cam Newton, Von Miller, JJ Watt. He's that old. And he cooking. He not even moving. Could you imagine CJ Stroud was in this offense, man? And we didn't have to give up Brian Burns, Lulu, DJ Moore.
I'm about to say DJ Moore.
Oh my God. Oh. Anyway, man. Anyway, let's go to the next one. Or yeah. Dolphins and the Seahawks. You got something to say about this one? Because I don't. 3-24. No quarterbacks.
Yeah, I'm about to say Seahawks cooked, the Dolphins are banged up. There you go. On to the, on to the next.
Hold up.
Which is where I was asking, what do you think about the AFC East? Because I mean, this could be enough of a slew of losses to where it's like it could make a difference in standings for the division. I guess you could say.
David Tepper came in the locker room to celebrate with the Panthers during the win. Fam, if you don't get your ass up out of here, yo, you the reason why we in this stuff, yo. You the problem. Also, too, man, I'm getting tired of Bryce Young's over positive self, man. You know what? Never mind, man. Lions against the Cardinals, man. Marvin Harrison Jr.
Don't have many highlight notes about that, so I'll let you touch on it.
Marvin Harrison Jr. is a beast. He's going first round of fantasy. Legit this next year.
Mm-hmm.
Ain't nothing to say. Lions won though, but
Um, the one actually, I technically lied. The one kind of highlight or thing I wanted to touch on, it's kind of an injury thing. I did
woo.
see Sam Laporta kind of limping. Did that end up staying as an injury, or did was he able to like to finish out the game?
Oh, I didn't know.
Yeah, there was a play Sam Laporta definitely limped off, but as more details come out, I guess we'll see
Because he was
if
hurt
anything.
going into the season though.
Wow, that was a bull truck to Bijan Robinson.
Yeah. I missed it. Pika Fire. Yeah,
Yeah,
shout out
fine.
to
Nah, more like that Luigi green missile.
he hit him with a German suplex. It's coming up. All right, what else we got? Oh, Cowboys against the Ravens.
The quote
Yo,
unquote America's game of the week.
what's up with the Ravens, man? Is it
I don't
coaching?
think the Ravens know what's up with the Ravens. 'Cause they were up big in this game. I think they were up like 20 in that game at one point. And the Cowboys just started twirling a parasol and walking them down. I don't think the Ravens know. I don't think the Ravens know what a good offense mix is outside of, hey,
Lamar Jackson and friends.
let's just run this ball. I do believe Derrick Henry had a pretty decent game. I
Yeah, I
give
think
him
he
a
had
step.
151.
Yeah, let alone decent game. No, that's a pretty big game. Uh, Look at some other stat lines for this game. But yeah, the Ravens were up big at one point. And it's one of why is this game close now? But I agree with you. Who are the Ravens?
Like, it seems like they stopped playing after the third quarter, no matter who they're playing. You have a chance.
Some of this box score. Yeah, Zay Flowers only had 20 receiving yards and 3 rushing yards. Like, yeah, like who are the scoring wise? Yeah, you allowed
57-yard punt.
for 19 in the fourth quarter. This is the same team we've seen have the number one defense last year. You're not going to allow a team to score almost 20 in a quarter, let alone the closeout quarter.
Yeah, the refs were kind of roughing a little bit, but still.
Ravens fans, y'all got some splaining to do and some praying to do. So go ahead and come to the altar because y'all can't continue to have games like that. Not me having a bias. Into the first quarter, y'all keep track for Sunday Night Football. Falcons are up 7-0. But y'all can't continue to have games like that because certain teams with the right amount of talent in the right spot and the right amount of power, as well as right momentum at the right time,
Hmm?
they'll be able to come back and close that game out, even though at one point you were leading by 20.
Hmm. That makes me think. Do you
Was it the last one?
fire the coach if this keeps up? Because this was a problem last year.
The fire McCarthy?
Uh-huh.
I've never liked McCarthy. Yes, of course that's me sounding biased, but yeah, I
You
don't
know
like him.
what? Oh, I was thinking like, all right, well, who would come in, but it would have to be Jerry Jones, yes, man. So it's gonna
That's
be the same thing
that's the
all over
problem.
again. Yep, yep,
Yeah,
yeah. It doesn't matter. It don't matter no more. It doesn't matter who you get. You're still gonna get a Jason Garrett. You're always gonna get a Jason Garrett in forever. No matter if it's Mike McCarthy, Steve Rogers, Tony Stark, they're always gonna be Jason Garrett.
my man
Yep,
started calling. My man started calling out Marvel characters.
real ones know.
Oh, funny you said Tony Stark. Actually, I'm sure. Actually, I'm sure. I took it out the shot. There we go. There we go. Hey, arc
Oh
reactor shirt.
yes.
Other cool detail about that shirt that the arc reactor parts glow in the dark.
Yo, I might have seen this picture. I gotta see this one. My sister sent me this picture about Bryce Young. I think you would enjoy it.
This can't be good.
I guess we move on to the next game. 49ers against the Rams. I thought the 49ers had this game locked up.
We all thought the 49ers had this game locked up, and my fantasy football team is hating the 49ers for not having this game locked up. Hey, you remember when Steve Wilkes actually got the defense moved
Oh,
and
oh,
improved
speak on
from a
it.
number 5 defense to a number 3?
Speak on it, sir. Mm-hmm.
Y'all remember 49ers fans that all of a sudden y'all decided to be crybabies just because Steve Wilkes ain't able to close out against other very, very good offenses, and y'all wanted
Mm-hmm.
Steve Wilkes fired, and all of a sudden he gets fired. Y'all got y'all's wish. Didn't y'all just get Brandon Staley, the same guy who went into a playoff game against a team that
My
looked
man.
helpless, up 28-0 at halftime, and proceeded to
Yo,
lose playoff game, and he's y'all defensive coordinator now? Hey, guess what happened now? Y'all lost to a Rams team that doesn't have Puka Nacua or Cooper Kupp.
my
Whew,
man said,
that was a
yo,
mouthful. Oh man,
he
that is
said, he said Brandon Staley ain't safe around me.
at
He
all.
lost him so
Bitch.
much money.
That's y'all's defensive coordinator. That's y'all's defensive coordinator. Y'all scored 24 on a team with basically no weapons outside of Kyron Williams and lost.
Yeah, no Puka, no Cup,
Your
no
defense still has
Higby.
Bosa and Fred Warner
Still be moved. Damn.
and Chase Young, right?
Nah, Chase Young plays for the Saints now.
Chase Young, okay.
Hmm?
Still have Bosa.
He's been
Still
getting
have Fred
coached up
Warner.
by Cameron Jordan.
Y'all scored 24 on a team with no weapons outside of a running game and lost. I'm gonna get up close on you with this chilada too. So y'all hear me. Y'all scored 24 on a team with no weapons outside of Kyron Williams and lost.
Aaron Williams is out here balling.
D'Amico Ryans wouldn't have lost that game. Steve
Mm,
Wilkes wouldn't have lost that game.
mm,
That's all I'm gonna say.
mm.
Holla at your boy. I believe Brock Purdy actually had a decent game stat line wise too.
Oh, my man Glock Purdy, yo. Balling, yo. Balling. So my team name with my fantasy leagues is Glock Purdy in the 45s. And one of my friends, he photoshopped Brock Purdy holding two of them, you know.
Yeah.
Pew pew.
2 pew pews
Mm-hmm.
out here
There we
holding 2
go.
Fox McCloud weapons.
Uh, Fire! Oh man, real ones now. Real ones now.
We're considering we talk about football and his last name relates to 2 Falco Lombardi weapons. hashtag Lombardi,
Fire!
hashtag Lombardi trophy. Oh, that's a free first in.
Let's see.
Speaking of some IJP Ryan, look at it. Look
Is the second quarter
out
already?
here using multiple backs.
Mm-hmm. They say, you know what we're gonna do? Not throw picks by handing this off. Fool me once. Fool me can't be fooled again.
But yeah, that was like I said. Sorry for the mouth vomit, but that's what I got to say on the Rams and 49ers. I looked at the score, checked some other scores, went back to Panthers Raiders, kind of
Yeah,
celebrated,
Patrick.
and looked back, realized the score was tied. I did the battle toads, look back again, the Rams took the lead, even though the 49ers had already scored 24, and it was the fourth
Mm-hmm.
quarter.
Mm-hmm.
For those that don't know, to explain the battle toads reference, whenever you ran into the boss, in Battletoads, their eyes would get like that big and they would have like a huge reaction.
Do you think Christian McCaffrey will play this season?
Considering his comments and considering how well Jordan Mason played, that is actually a very good question, sir. In which my early answer would be a no. Which, if he doesn't, do you think the 49ers shop him and try to get something crazy for him? Considering his tenure and stat line before this current kind of injury and bench situation, or his stat line tenure before this bench situation.
Yo, did he just get DDT'd, yo?
I
P
don't think it's
Ryan?
gonna talk to me yet. Uh, he said he didn't get DDT.
Yeah, did you see it?
I think I'm behind you.
Okay.
Other yes, he basically did. I just saw it. Yes, he basically did. And his helmet came off. Um, other cool side note, unrelated to football, DDT originally used to be thought to be stood for Dante's dinner time. And the move itself was a blooper.
Hmm. Well, you know what DDT stands for now? Diddy did that because he going to jail allegedly.
Hey, now that brings a whole new meaning to that song. The D, the I, the D, the D, the Y, the D, the I, the D is Diddy. Well, that's it.
Oh yeah, he
It's
just felt
spelling
Diddy
out.
did.
It's spelling
Yeah,
out
you know
Diddy.
what? Mm, mm-hmm. He was telling y'all.
Ah,
Uh,
y'all thought we forgot about that song, huh? Lord, you hear about the other possible. It's kind of a awkward play. You hear about the other possible celebrities or music artists that should also be charged along with Diddy.
I
Jaguar
know
Wright
Jay-Z
released
was
a
in there.
bunch of names.
I'm I heard Jay-Z was in there, Mary J. Blige and stuff. But it kind of makes
Jennifer
me think,
Lopez.
why are all these CEOs just stepping down? Like there's a lot of like top execs is like, well, it's time to step down and go to you know,
That's the red flags. That's the red flag.
oh, it's a flag.
Usher was listed in there.
Usher was in fan. I don't like okay, have you looked at like some of these pictures and videos of like Diddy talking to are we good? Um dang, that wasn't rough enough. I don't know now. Anyway. So okay. the the oh man. The videos that were taken me like 20 years ago or 10 years ago of
Mhm.
Diddy and Usher or Diddy and Justin Bieber or Diddy on the Drink Champs with Fabulous and Jadakiss. Looking at those videos now, I'm like, yo, they look scared,
Yeah,
like legitimately frightened, right? And one podcaster was like, he's like, yo, man, like you gotta think about it. All these dudes been talking about, they hard, whatever, this and that. But when Diddy come around, they just stop. And there was a thing where Diddy was talking to it was Usher, I think it was on the View or something. They're all eating food or something. And they were on two different sides of the table. And Diddy was like, "Yo, man, how come like we won't be doing this, whatever." That was a crazy night, right? And Usher was like, "Oh yeah, we had a lot to drink." And then about 3 minutes later, someone was like, "Dang," Usher was like, why you sweating like that?" He said, "Man, it's hot." Yo, he looked like the scared sweats,
Yeah.
like and it kind of makes me think, like, Diddy has multiple arson cases in that joint.
Mhm.
Because you know the thing with him and Kid Cudi, right?
I know about Wale. I don't know about Cuddy.
Okay, yeah, that
Oh
Wale thing was
no,
crazy
Cuddy
too.
was the car. That was the
Yep,
the,
yep, that
the
was the car.
yeah.
But if there's multiple arson things, hey man, what have you done? And the whole thing with Wale had like there was rumor that him and his boys were hanging him like by his pants leg off a balcony because I think he was trying to talk to Cassie or something, or Seb was up to Cassie or something.
Cassie.
Yeah,
Cassie Ventura. Yep.
yeah, like he said hey or
He,
something.
he went psycho over Cassie, but all while Wale was set to record it. He was literally just there, professional as
To
ever,
record a song.
record a song with Cassie.
Who's an artist before getting with Diddy. And that's what artists do. That's
Hmm. I mean, it's a boatload of trouble. And considering the statements that Jaguar Wright released, also generally mainly about Jay-Z. I feel like Jay-Z might be next.
gotta be wild.
We won't make this a thing about celebrities and music artists stuff, but
Hmm?
it's like cause like Eminem said, I want to beef with him because he might put a hit on me like Keefy D. Get him.
Nobody wants to beef with him.
Please tell me you've heard that song Fuel.
Hmm?
That's literally my favorite song on this new album.
The thing is, like, nobody wants to beef with Diddy
No.
because he don't know. That's so weird, man.
What was wild is that the start of Eminem's verse in that song Fuel, I knew where he was going when he started just repeating essays. I knew where he was going.
Hold up. Dang it.
The other cool wordplay he had is later in the verse he also referenced another form of essay.
Wait, say it again?
Later in that verse he also referenced another form of essay, but it's a low key wordplay where if you don't catch it, you don't think of it.
Hmm.
He said nobody's 16s are touching these index fingers fucking. If you were to foreplay a 16-year-old, that is sexual assault. That's SA.
Is that fumble?
That's one of those. That's one of those that was so geniusly just put in, and you think about what he said earlier in the verses. It's like that's so geniusly put in.
You know what? Do you think Kanye will be in that?
No, Kanye's in a world of his own. I know Jay Z's name got brought up, but Kanye's already in a world of his own before all of this stuff started coming out with Diddy and a couple other artists. Kanye's already in a world of his own. Plus, this is so big. Kanye's craft basically already overshadowed. I guess you could say
Yo,
that.
what if everything Kanye's been ranting about comes true in these trials and everything?
I know, right?
They'll be like, "Oh, do we owe him an apology?" It's like, nah, he didn't. He didn't tell us in the way that we like to be told.
Right.
He's still off. Whoa, yo, if London would have caught that, he would have been asleep. My bad. I'm a little ahead.
Actually, not sleep, not sleep, but fleet.
Oop.
Fleet. All right, I'm about to say the play's probably coming up for me right now. All right. Oh, I see what you're talking about. I see what you're talking about. Hey, yo, my man's helmet would have been back in Atlanta. What's up with all these roughing the passer calls?
You better not touch that boy, Mahomes. Wait a minute. Does Fanatics have the jersey back in style? Because if so, I'm
Uh-oh.
about to get it.
What
I'm
jersey?
about to get it. Juventus' third jersey this season.
Hey.
Uh, they do not.
Oh, player down for the Falcons. See if he can
Is it
get back.
Lyman?
Oh, they're already in Atlanta. So yeah, no, sorry. I thought they were in Kansas City. But well, Drake London would have been hit so hard that his helmet would have been back in Kansas City. He would have caught the what was your boy's name in Street Fighter EX2? There's the EX3. EX3. Um old buddy with the fedora and the baseball bat. Cracker Jack. He would have caught the Cracker Jack combo.
Well, he says Street Fighter ES3.
EX3. Yeah, it's an older game. It's like this is like PS2 era. Um, there was a character in the game called Cracker Jack where
Oh, is that the game they try to make it look like Tekken?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, he had Cracker Jack had a super. It was a level 3 super. He pulled out a giant baseball bat, and he would if he made contact with you, he would smack you all the way to the moon. You would bounce off the moon and then bounce back to the stage. And then he would continue the combo.
Yo, this title says Street Fighter EX3, the game that killed Street Fighter.
Yeah, because so that was a combination effort between I forgot what's the company that made Fighting EX Layer, but the company that made Fighting EX Layer combined with Capcom, that was like that collaboration for a little bit because they ended
Mm.
up making 4 games in that series, but the games were so awkward compared to the Street Fighters we knew at the time that the sales for Street Fighter went way down. And like their last ditch effort for like a change up in the series was Capcom Fighting Evolution. So like basically everything tanked for like a good like 5-6 year period. And then they came out with
Mm.
Street Fighter 4 and then everything picked back up again. But yeah, that like the Street Fighter EX series was like the beginning of the decline. But that's why they say that.
Mm.
Luckily, Street Fighter 4 saves the series. I actually personally enjoyed Street Fighter EX2 and EX3. I didn't play EX Plus Alpha.
Have you played six?
No, I don't have a means to play 6 currently. That can be something I can look into though, because six looks very, very interesting.
Yeah, that six is dope, yeah.
You know me, I definitely got up on the Marvel vs. Capcom collection though.
I'm kind of ready for I guess another game like that. Like
Good
just for
news.
that style.
Good news. The creators of the Marvel vs. Capcom series have said they're basically looking at the sales. Oh, Great pass. Was that Kyle Pitts? Yeah, great pass to Kyle Pitts.
Damn it.
Um, they're going to be looking at the sales of this collection and basically judging on whether to make another installment of the game that's more of a homage to this series than what Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite was.
Please. Because 3 was dope, but it wasn't as better as it wasn't as good as 2, in my opinion. But 3 was fun.
Three was its own thing. The problem with three compared to two has a lot of technical components and feels a little bit more free than three. Three just feels like
Yes.
three feels like let me just hit buttons and do damage. What
Yep.
does the
And
most
bounce
damage?
them or bounce them off the ground.
Yeah, like which I mean, if that's what you're going for that game to make it feel like its own thing, cool. Then it's its own thing. But compared to what we came to know between Marvel superheroes versus Street Fighter.
Touchdown for Bijan. Or nope, maybe not.
Um, Actually, I'll throw X-Men versus Street Fighter in there as well. What we come to know for Marvel superheroes, X-Men versus Street Fighter, Marvel superheroes versus Street Fighter. I would throw Marvel versus Capcom 1 in there, but basically everyone having infinites is kind of broken, which I could say the same thing about X-Men versus Street Fighter. So both of those games get an asterisk. And then everything being rounded off and basically Marvel versus Capcom 2 being the Smash Brothers Ultimate before Smash Brothers Ultimate was a thing. Yeah, like it was the ultimate love game. I don't know if you knew that about Marvel versus Capcom 2.
Hmm.
Yeah, basically how they came up with the concept of the game was the same thing of the concept for Marvel for Smash Brothers Ultimate. Anyone that had been in the series that was a playable character at any point in the series was going to be a playable character in that game in Marvel vs. Capcom 2.
Huh.
So, like, for instance, Blackheart was playable in Marvel Superheroes and Marvel Superheroes versus Street Fighter, and he wasn't seen again. But since he was in those two games, Blackheart is in MVC 2.
Yeah, cause like one thing that I didn't like about 3, that I liked about 2 is the amount of characters, like you said. You think 3 was more of like a media driven thing?
Yeah,
Okay.
and it a media driven thing as well as them just kind of trying to make a bridge and kind of put something out with their constraints on licensing and stuff. Because the X-Men license was still up in the air, so you couldn't put all the X-Men in there that was in the Marvel vs. Capcom series. Um, they ended up
Hmm.
getting a Fantastic Four license, but I think that was them trying to popularize Fantastic Four a little bit more, considering MCU was trying to get Fantastic Four off the ground again. Excuse me.
Thanks thanks to Deadpool.
And thank you for putting Deadpool in the game finally.
Mm-hmm. Pineapples.
When you tag out with him, bathroom break. Or when you get KO'd, you press the wrong button.
Yeah. It kind of sounds like my fight money.
Yeah, now that I think about it, yeah, it's wild. Um, but yeah, a lot of licensing thing put a lot of constraints on Marvel vs. Capcom 3. I'm glad they made what they made of it, but even if I feel like game mechanically wise, even if they did basically just remake Marvel vs. Capcom 2, it would just still feel like Marvel vs. Capcom 3 because mechanically they just made it to where it's just like press buttons, do damage, bounce people off the
Yeah.
ground, do damage. There's no incentive for learning the Dan Hibiki touch of death combo. I don't know if you knew that was a thing. There's no incentive for learning a weird character like Shumagorath. There's no incentive for learning. Let me think of some other character. There's no incentive for playing a slow, chunky character like Silver Samurai and using him to punish assists. You know why? Because everybody in Marvel vs. Capcom 3 does damage. Everyone does damage. There's no mechanical reason to just not do damage.
Are they bringing back SNK?
I think that is something in the works, considering that the new characters in Street Fighter 6 are
Hmm.
Terry Bogard, Terry Bogard, and Mai Shiranui. What I would love to see is, and what I've heard, the third game I'm gonna throw out there is something that I heard it could be in the works as well. Um, because of something else that's announced, I believe it's coming out in January. Um, for one, like we already touched on, there could be basically a Marvel vs. Capcom 4 that is more of a love letter and true sequel to Marvel vs. Capcom 2 than it is 3.
Do you think that will
Uh,
be the end of it?
no,
Okay.
as popular as this collection, as this new collection has come, as well as the new players on the fighting game community scene that are learning these older games. Um, I mean, there's people in their 20s and their teens trying to learn these newer games, so they have to get older. They're going to have kids, blah blah blah. No, I don't think this will be the end of it. And Marvel being owned by Disney, they're getting buku money. I do believe there's going to be an MVC4. I do believe with the reveal of Terry and Mai in Street Fighter 6,
Yeah, I
that there
saw that. I said, "Oh, let's go. Let's go."
I believe there's possibly going to be a future Capcom versus SNK, because let's be real, the last collaboration between those two companies was SVC Chaos, but that was made on the SNK engine and on the SNK side.
Yeah.
Plus, during a time that SNK was going bankrupt. So that's more of the bad slash weird game. I ain't gonna call it a bad game. It's its own
Yeah,
game.
wait,
It's just very weird.
because Terry's in Smash Brothers, right?
Yeah. Um, I believe there will be another Capcom versus SNK produced on the Capcom side, but with all the SNK licensing that they want to do. And the third one, I believe at some point it's going to be a Power Stone 3.
Please do.
Here's my thoughts on it. In the future, I believe it's either January or February of next year, they announced another Capcom collection, but it's going to be mainly their 3D fighting games,
Mhm.
which is what's. Oh, I'll throw a fourth one out there, a sequel to uh, Rifle Schools in Project Justice. Because they announced another collection that'll have their 3D fighting games, which includes Power Stone 2, Rival Schools, and Project Justice. So
I'm
there,
in
I
rival
believe,
schools, yo.
yeah, I still own Project Justice for the Dreamcast.
Yo, but I got some football news. Bleacher Report said that the Panthers O line looked legit, and I'm like, this is what we just talked about.
Yep.
Offensive line been looking legit.
You know who ain't look legit? The second NFL midget. Okay, I don't want to say that word. The second NFL short person outside of Kyler Murray.
But Kyler Murray can move though.
Yes, Kyler
And Kyler
Murray has
Murray played against SEC
Kyler
teams
Murray
while not
has
being in
tools.
the SEC.
Kyler Murray has tools that make him useful in the NFL. Bryce Young has nothing that looks like he is useful in the NFL.
He's so smart. And
You
it's
know who
just
else?
like what is it? Like who is it?
You know who else
Chris
was so
Rock.
smart?
Chris
You
Rock.
know who else
Oh
was so smart? Ryan Leaf. You know how many games Ryan Leaf won as a professional? 4.
nah, yo. Yeah, for that Chris Rock, yo. He's so smart. That's cool, but can you kick my ass? That's basically what's going on.
Right. 14-10 at the next break. Falcons lead. Actually looking like a good game, but Chiefs are actually looking like they're having kind of a tough time covering Kyle Pitts.
Hmm. I got a feeling Travis Kelce about to turn up in the second half.
He better turn up in the second half because this could be a questionable game for the Chiefs if the Falcons keep having this success, especially considering it's not like we've seen the Falcons go pass heavy. And if even if they do go pass heavy, they already kind of noticed that they're having trouble covering tight ends, or at least Kyle Pitts. So
Everybody's saying rival schools must return.
rival schools and Project Justice, man, that was such an interesting scene. Y'all gonna make me go and play Project Justice after this game. I still got secret characters I gotta unlock. And yeah, I know we're like 20 years after the game came out.
You got to
There's
think about it,
certain
there's a lot
things.
of games that come out now that are trash.
Yeah, about saying we over here getting excited about remake HD remakes of games that came out 20 and 30 years ago.
But they're made so well.
It's like all they're basically doing is making it being able to run on current systems. Uh, you could change your screen format, whether you want it 4:3 or 16:9, whether you want scan lines in there, etc. That's basically all they're doing, and perfectly getting off the nostalgia. Oh, also, if you haven't checked out or heard about the Marvel vs. Capcom collection, it includes the Punisher, which is a game we never got here in America.
Hmm.
Well, the Punisher, the beat 'em up, because the Punisher that we got here in America uh is a scrolling shooter. How to describe it? Did you ever play that old game on the NES? Gotcha.
Nope.
Uh, hmm. Or Terminator, the arcade game, the one with the gun.
Yep.
Basically, think of Punisher on the NES like that, but you're using the NES controller. It's basically that. That's the one we got in the Americas. But there's a Punisher arcade beat 'em up that literally plays like Ninja Turtles and all of that.
Like a
Um,
side-scrolling beat 'em up.
yeah,
Gotcha.
that's in the Marvel vs. Capcom collection. It's pretty cool too because the entire environment is
Ooh,
interactive.
that's an MCL fan.
Because like there's a scene where like you roll up in a bar, you can literally just pick up bar stools and beat up your opponents with it. So, or like you might like something might happen in the environment, and like let's just say like you're on like a cruise ship or something, and like something blows up and like a piece of sheet metal falls down. You can pick up the
Hmm.
sheet metal, beat up your other opponents with it.
Yeah, they got two offensive linemen that's down. The Falcons.
Ooh, might be some trouble for Atlanta if they do. Oh, he got rolled up on. Yeah, they definitely got somebody up there.
Um, Somebody dropped Brian Thomas Jr. I'm gonna pick that dude up. Hold up.
So as well, no real score update, but at the 2-minute warning, it's still 14-10. Falcons lead.
Yeah, I think both teams are just chilling right now. There's some good changes or good what you call them?
Yeah,
Good adjustments. But yeah, man, we're gonna end it right now. You feel me?
y'all know
Yeah.
what we say over here, man.
Panthers won.
And
Broncos
the
won.
Broncos.
It's
That's right.
Bryce's
Do another
fault.
shot.
Then it's Shepard's fault. But yeah, that's it, people.
Y'all know what we say, man. Y'all stay fly and y'all keep on sipping.
And wash your hands. Deuces.
Please wash your hands. Illnesses are still out here.
Oh yeah, and sick people
No.
in the face. Watch out for them freak offs. All right, deuces, everybody.